from Toronto, Canada, Machine Gun Shelly Barnett.
So with apologies for the delay, live on Fight Zone, we go on to the first of our really big events here tonight in the Cayman Islands. This is 10 rounds super bantamweight for the Commonwealth silver title and the ranking that comes with that. Shelly Barnett from Canada making her way through the rope right now.
From Wolverhampton, England, please welcome Healy.
Much like Harvey Dykes, the English heavyweight. There's great support here tonight in Georgetown for Katie Healy from Wolverhampton. It's all been happening really quickly for Katie. Maybe, dare I say, a little bit too quickly. Not tonight, I don't mean. Obviously, there's been quite a delay. But in June, she took on Nina Hughes for the WBA World title at bantamweight. The truth is she was comprehensively outpointed, but no time for a rebuild. Straight back in for another big tilt at a title, this time at Commonwealth level. If she wins it, she will be on the map, which was the big target at the start of 2023.
As you rightfully mentioned, Paul, that defeat to Nina Hughes, her first defeat in her professional career. And you know, Healy told me that she took that fight on short notice, but tonight she's come in for redemption.
In the ring next to me, holding the belt, the Commonwealth Silver Super Bantamweight belt, is the Commonwealth Boxing Council President, Steve Hiscock. We'd like to welcome those watching from around the world via Fight Zone. It's brought to you in part by GDH Promotions and Fight Academy and sponsored by Kirk Freeport. This fight is sanctioned by the Commonwealth Boxing Council and the Commonwealth Boxing Commission. Presiding over this match is the judges are ringside: Ed Pearson, Leroy Brown, and Donovan Boucher. This fight is 10 rounds of boxing. It is for the title, Commonwealth Silver Super Bantamweight Championship. Fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 122 pounds, wearing purple. Please welcome Machine Gun Shelly Barnett. Her opponent in the blue corner, wearing the purple and black trunks, weighing in at 121 pounds, it's Katie Healy. And inside the ring, controlling the action is our referee Joel Scody.
Let's be very clear, although Katie Healy was beaten in that big fight earlier this year, she starts here as a very substantial favourite. What Barnett does have on her side is a bundle of experience. This is her 17th pro fight, and what a time this will be for her to rediscover the winning feeling. 8 defeats in 9 for her. 2 in Canadian title attempts, admittedly. Last time out, her night's work cut short literally by an accidental cut in the first round, and that meant that it was called off. So away we go. 10 2-minute rounds for the women's super bantamweight Commonwealth silver title. Last time I checked, the champion was Tyree Gallagher, the senior champion. But if Healy wins, that's surely the target up the road. Barnett's job tonight is to make the road hard for Healy, who is substantially taller, 5'7" against 5'3". Certainly not been hanging around in her career, Katie Healy. Only her 8th pro fight tonight. But a classic case of that age group in professional boxing whose career progress was hit so very hard by COVID and all the lockdowns. Staying busy during that period was a massive problem to so many, and they resorted to very imaginative remedies, including staging fights in the car park at the Sheffield Arena, outdoors, in your car, watching on. Imagine the logistics of all of that. But it kept the business going. Barnett might not be very light on her feet here, Russell, but she looks very strong, doesn't she, and very resolute indeed. And at this stage in her career, little wonder, because it's probably the last big chance she's ever going to get.
Certainly out of title. You know, Paul, it's quite nice to see these women now at the end of this first round. These women elevated on this card. You know, over the past couple of years, we've just seen women's boxing just rise, and certainly that you know, that fight between Katie Taylor and Chantel Cameron only added to the interest of women's boxing.
Well, let me tell you something, Russell. They've every right to be considered as big and important in the industry now as the men. They've earned that right over the last decade. I think the most interesting feature tonight might be who here in the Cayman Islands is inspired by seeing women on the big platform, as it were. That is almost a subliminal part of the planning here tonight. If you people in the Cayman Islands uncover a star, why would it not be a woman nowadays? Let's hope it happens. It'd be great.
You're absolutely right.
Let's see if Healy can establish the jab now that we put the preliminaries to one side. In her corner, right, as I mentioned it, Gavin Burrows actually makes that point to her. All comes off the jab. No problem for Barnett. She slid right under that bottom rope. Just needs the gloves to be wiped off and we'll get on with it. It's only a trip. Joel Scobie.
Healy wanting no part in that clinch.
Keeping control. Seemed to be stating the obvious, quite honestly, but on we go. That's a very nice combination from Healy. Punching down to the body is not the easiest thing to do, but she did it well. She tried it again there. The right hand, left, third time in a row, found the target. Very well measured for it. But closing the distance well is Barnett. Barnett knows the fight she wants to fight here. I'm getting the impression that they spent a lot of time studying Katie Healy. And they know how to try to remedy what Healy's got to offer here.
Certainly have the footage from her last fight against Nina Hughes.
Only stopped once in the 8 defeats, Barnett. Everything about her suggests she's a very determined character. Latecomer to professional boxing. She only turned pro in 2017. Now she's 40 years of age. 2 gone. Healy may have a claim for winning both of them, but Barnett has closed the range well. Maybe hasn't thrown enough, but she's given Healy a few things to think about. Bigger picture, of course, the debate rages on about 3-minute rounds for the women, especially at the elite level. If Katie Healy continues the upward arc in her career, it may be in her sights that she'll fight 3-minute rounds up the road, we don't know. Time has been lost here in this 2-minute round. Time on, and on we go again. Barnett's experienced enough, I think, here at Russell, not to expend energy unnecessarily by throwing out of range. She's waiting until she's in range to let the shots go. That's smart. Almost like she's ceding the fact that Healy has the reach advantage, which she's just demonstrated there. But getting in close, that's a different story. And Barnett thinks she can get to Healy.
I think she's paying for it a lot going on the inside.
You're right. But she's prepared to pay that price. That might make her dangerous in this fight.
Well,
see there, she was tempted to reach for it, but she doesn't go through with it because she's been around. She knows that's just wasted energy. And moreover, Healy, with the reach advantage, will be encouraged to think, well, she doesn't know how to deal with me. Barnett again is making this very competitive, combative. There was a clash of heads there.
I think it's a second one in this round.
Right hand found the target all right from Healy. A nice left hook lead going the other way from Katie Healy. But Barnett is doing a really good job here of not allowing Katie Healy to truly get into her rhythm. Competitive stuff indeed so far. They meet in the middle of the ring. It's still to be decided here as to who is really the boss in this fight. Katie Healy shapes to be the boss. Shelly Barnett is not for letting her have it. And she's doing enough to give Katie Healy some problems to solve. Wise move there by Katie. She saw Barnett again closing the distance, and she made sure that inside Barnett wasn't going to pop up and do some damage. Grabbed her almost in a headlock. So there's a bit more to Katie here than just a smooth boxer. She most certainly is a smooth boxer. But she is being asked to work at pace here tonight by Barnett. It's a challenge worthy of the title because it will mean so much in terms of getting a proper crack at the Commonwealth belt.
Ooh, and she caught her clean there with a right hook. Healy did. Some of the sweat got on my face.
Again, there's Canadian support here for the Canadian fighter, as earlier tonight with Tyler Tremlett, the heavyweight.
I think you have support in this building from every single nationality. I mean, the Cayman Islands has 168 different nationalities living here, and certainly the Canadian and the British has a big presence.
Tremendous support for this event, Russell. Barnett again for me is given as good as she's getting on the inside. Now the referee Scobie has come to the corner here. I can't quite hear what is being said, but it's the question of interpretation really as to who is doing the more of the holding on the inside. I can understand why Katie Healy is making sure that she ties Barnett up in that way. She doesn't want Barnett popping up and throwing an uppercut, or moreover, her head being jerked up and connecting with Healy's head. The boxing is polished, but maybe in that Healy corner, Gavin Burrows is saying we need a bit more power. I think he is. Exactly now he's doing that. Barnett's not been discouraged by all the smooth boxing from Barnett tonight. Nice combinations to start the round from Healy here. Planting her feet just a little bit more. Digging the toes into this canvas. Very good passage. This is much better, says the corner. As I agree there. We heard, you may have heard it on Fight Zone. Gavin Burrows not far from me in the Healy corner. Really good first minute to this round from Healy. So Barnett with a few problems to solve suddenly. Was always likely, I think, Russell, to be the case tonight, that Barnett would be very competitive for the early few rounds, but would find it harder over a championship trip of 10 rounds. Maybe we've seen the first signs of that here.
Well, again, my opinion, I think that Healy is certainly controlling this fight.
Nice right uppercut from Healy. She's landed some good shots in this round. Barnett not so keen to engage here suddenly. That's a telltale sign as well. She's winning the round. She's in charge of it, and Healy has to make sure she puts the round in the bank. If she's not going to stop Barnett tonight, she has to make sure that we're not leaving it to any question marks among the judges. Only one way to do that, which is to keep the pressure on.
Especially after that controversial decision a fight ago.
Good work in that round for me from Katie Healy. And she doesn't need the stool again, does she? She's still standing in the corner. Tell us more about that. Out with the stingrays, Russell. There's a great deal of that, a great many attractions. Continuing with the live action from Georgetown in the Cayman Islands, the Lion Centre here. We've got a lovely cooling breeze. It's partially an open air venue with a roof on it. Couldn't be any better for this. It's an absolutely gorgeous day. Well, they're nearly all gorgeous days here, aren't they? And a cracking fight night card live here on Fight Zone, broadcast all around the world, or correctly, streamed all around the world. And Healy again is looking like she's making inroads now into Barnett. Barnett's finding it harder, coming forward in straight lines, minding the gap, Katie Healy, and working it very nicely indeed, settling into a good rhythm. What can Barnett do about that? It's so hard for Barnett to beat Healy to the jab. It does look as though at the moment, Russell, Healy's beginning to work Barnett out. And there are one or two lumps, bumps and bruises starting to form around Barnett's face, which rather tell the story. Nonetheless, Barnett does get into range there. She's not going to go away easily, but she has got puzzles to solve at the moment, Barnett. And the rounds are starting to slip by. That's likely to be another one in the bank for Healy, in my view. Now, very kindly, the referee, Joel Scobie, has come across to tell us that there is a bit of cut damage for Barnett, and it was caused by the head. At this moment, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't look that serious for Barnett. The situation overall is quite serious for Barnett, in my view. Healy boxing nicely over the last few rounds, starting to plant her feet a bit more, getting a bit more leverage into the shots, gives herself a bit more time to deliver. She is, and she's more reluctant as well now, Russell. As the referee did indicate, that clash of heads, it's the kind of fight where there are bound to be head clashes. And whether by accident or design, in the first few rounds, Barnett getting close, was periodically popping her head up from very close quarters indeed. Healy's just got to make sure that she does keep her head down wherever possible. If there's going to be a clash of heads, the higher it is on the head, the better for her. But she can win it from range, and she's doing that quite impressively again here in the main. And again, keeping out of harm's way, really, with some good footwork, keeping her head well out of the place where it could be a target, legal or otherwise. So 3 rounds to go. Katie Healy coming out the blue corner. Coming out with a few rounds to spare in terms of the overall shape of this fight, in my opinion, for whatever that's worth. Shelly Barnett was giving her plenty of problems in the early rounds, but she has not built upon that. She settled into a really good rhythm, and she's back into that rhythm at the start of this 8th round, is Katie Healy. Every so often, a slow hook does find its way past the guard of Healy, but they're isolated incidents in this period of the fight from Barnett. Sporadic success at best. She's lost her accuracy, she's lost her rhythm really, because she can't remedy the fact that Healy is demonstrating at range. She's got the better variety and a much more accurate straight jab. A slow left hook like that as your opening gambit is not going to work for Barnett. Nonetheless, boundless reserves of guts and commitment from Shelly Barnett.
No doubt about that. And she's moving forward, even though, you know, her tank is a bit on the low side. Meanwhile, Healy looks like she has another 10 rounds in her.
You're right to mention that, Russell, but she's made it easier for herself, hasn't she? Since she's started to box from the outside with a little bit of accuracy. Looking good. So what we're seeing tonight in Katie Healy's career can really start to take off on the basis of what she's doing here tonight in the Cayman Islands, particularly back in Britain, where, as you are aware, Russell, we are overloaded with star names. Interesting to recall, actually, that when the current General Secretary of the British Boxing Board of Control, Robert Smith, took office, fabulous servant as he has been, in 2008, there were 8 licensed professional women boxers in Great Britain at that time.
Wow.
Now, there are hundreds, and no shortage of quality among them. But Katie Healy is putting on a quality display. It's just so difficult for Shelly Barnett to create an angle that's going to give Healy a problem here. everything off the jab for Healy. Still Barnett trying to close the range, but she's missing when she gets there now.
Yep.
It's another lovely combination from Healy. Barnett trying to let the shots go underneath when she does finally slow the target down a little bit, but the movement here from Healy has been really, really good over the last few rounds. And smart there, she gets off the rope. She doesn't encourage Barnett to think that if she pins her, she might get a reward for that.
I thought Barnett might have stole that round there from Healy, if I'm not mistaken.
Interesting that you saw it that way. I thought she did show more, Russell. She knows she needs to throw more. There were one or two good attacks to the body from Barnett. So this is it. In Shelly Barnett's case, it's all on this 10th round. Only a misstep or a mishap for Katie Healy can probably put it in any question. She's boxed extremely well over the second half of this fight tonight. And she's continuing in the same vein. Why complicate it? Why give the opponent the sniff of an opportunity to take it away from her?
Yep. No need to fix what isn't broken. And Healy is cruising away now, as she was and has been for this entire fight.
Now Barnett into her own corner there. Against the ring post briefly, but Healy again was having none of it. Everything's just slowed down for Barnett from the feet up over the second half of this fight tonight. She keeps plugging away, but I don't think she's really making much headway with all of that. One of Healy's few remaining issues is making sure she keeps her head out of harm's way, which she's done quite expertly over the second half of the fight.
Certainly landing at a higher clip. Healy, that is. As she does there with a quick
Really
1-2.
She waited for her. She was ready. Last few seconds then. There's been no hint that Shelly Barnett had the shot to change the shape of this fight when she needed it. It was good. Well done to both. Shelly Barnett, as game as she has been always in her career. But for me, a very polished display tonight from Katie Healy over the second half of the fight in particular.
Who will more than likely be heading back to the UK as the new female Commonwealth Silver Super Bantamweight champion. Well done to both women.
So we're about collecting the scorecards again. Commonwealth supervisor tonight is Stephen Hiscox. The three scoring judges are Ed Pearson of Canada, Leroy Brown of Jamaica, and once more Donovan Boucher of Canada. And I'm not going to prejudge the issue given the scoring in one of the earlier fights tonight. I'm not saying there's anything amiss, not suggesting it for a moment, but I just didn't see it the same way. And I think most people in the crowd here tonight didn't see it the same way. But the judges are the experts, and we abide by their decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a majority decision.
And it's a majority decision.
Judged about 97-93. Judge Brown with 190. And Judge Boucher at 96-94. For the majority decision, for Katie
There is little doubt about that. Katie Healy was the better all-round performer and takes a very significant step forward in her career. Maybe she took a big step a bit too soon going in against Nina Hughes. But at super bantamweight, a super performance.
The Commonwealth Silver Super Bantamweight Champion, Katie The rest of the governor is Jane Owen in the ring.
And that's a great touch. Her Excellency, the Governor of the Cayman Islands, who's really supported this event in every possible way, is in the ring presenting the Commonwealth belt.
Big round of applause for both fighters today. Thank you. GDH Promotions in association with Fight Zone and Fight County, representing Class in Pan and is proudly sponsored by Elite Modeling Brand, Kirk Freeport, Flow, Burger King, Gatorade, Seven Seas, and J.J. Corman Sons, just to name a few. Please don't forget that the silent auction items, 100% of the proceeds goes to the Boxing Association. We also have the 50-50 draw. If you go over to this corner or on this side, the 50-50 draw, your chance to win some big bucks. Get ready for more drinks and food. We've got fights coming up in a moment.
Katie, let's get right to it with you. You wear that belt with such pride. Did it go to plan for you tonight?
Getting the belt, yes, that went to plan. I'll be honest, my performance, no. I was quite disappointed at the end. I knew I'd done enough, but that wasn't the performance I wanted to go in there with tonight. So I am disappointed in myself. However, I've learnt a lot from that, and it's the end of 2023. I'm promising this now so that I can watch it back in my next fight. You will see a different Katie Healy next year, a new Katie Hellcat Healy next year. But I just want to say thank you so much to the team here in Grand Cayman, to Dennis, to the team, to Gab for putting up with me all week, Grumpy Katie. But no, thank you so much for the opportunity. These guys have been here since day one, and they've believed in me, and I'm forever grateful for that. So yeah, I'm very happy, but on to the next, and on to an improved performance next year.
Well, nobody can argue with your opinion of it, but from the outside of the ropes, and Gavin, I'm going to come to you on this in a moment or two, our view on that was that you did have some problems for the first 3, 4, maybe 5 rounds, but you solved them in very, very good fashion. You started to give yourself a bit more distance to show your best work, and I thought he, your trainer, was looking for a bit more power, which you then started to deliver. Is that fair? Give yourself a break, it's nearly Christmas.
I never do. I'm my biggest critic, and to be fair, this man here, Gav, he does everything and more, and he's been there, like I said, with the team since day one. And every time he's in that corner, he's always saying the right thing. I'm listening to him, and I'm not only trying to do it for me, but I'm trying to do it for him and the team. But he's an incredible coach, and he deserves the credit for that. And even from my first performance to this one, we've seen massive growth. And I'm only, 8 fights in? I'm 25. I'm still at the start of my career, and I've got a lot more to give. And we're going to see that, and it'll be thanks to this guy as well. So I want to give a clap to Gav, because he is an incredible coach. And like I say, he's had to put up with me this week when I've been a bit hungry. And tell you what, that deserves a medal on its own.
Well, there's maybe a tail in that, and I know how difficult it can be in fight week, but you did a great job in the corner. What was your view of your fighter's performance?
I'm happy with that. We tried to plant our feet a little bit more in this fight. We wanted to show what Katie can do, mix up her ability, rather than just being the predictable, throwing the jab, boxing out at range. So we wanted to sit down on our punches a little bit more today. Obviously it's a new style for her, so it takes a bit of adapting. I'm very proud of her. We've changed a lot of things up in this camp. She's very hard on herself because she wants to impress, and by wanting to impress, she's forgetting how good she is. So I'm very happy with her performance. Obviously there's things to work on, but that's boxing. She's 25 years young, and we've got her back in Steve, Dennis, Fight Zone, and I think everyone in the Grand Cayman loved her. The governor even come out and come into the ring and give her a hug. And she's gaining followers and fans as she's learning. She's 8 fights in. She's boxed for, won a WBF world title, boxed for a WBA world title, and now won a Commonwealth silver title. No extensive amateur career. She's learning on the job, and it's thanks to these guys with BCB as well, Fight Zone, Dennis, Steve, for giving us these opportunities in this platform to grow on a big stage.
Key word in that is 8 fights in. Come on, you've got to give yourself a little break. I don't know what you're going to do about the dietary question now, because you've just told us that you've been hungry all week. Until now, your ambitions were at Super Bantam. I'm being quite serious about this. Are you comfortable being at Bantam?
We've had conversations, haven't we? And we've tried different weights. I've tried bantamweight, super bantamweight, feather, super feather, and I'm still learning. So those decisions will come, but it'll be a team decision, because I know that they've got my best interest at heart, and sometimes what I think's the right thing isn't always the right thing. So yeah, we'll see what happens from there. But no, in terms of the diet, I've already ordered a pizza and it's waiting for me at the hotel.
Good for you. Give a slice to your trainer.
She says she's hungry. She's not hungry. She's made it comfortably. Just means she had to miss one meal. That means she's hungry.
Well, it means it was a big fight week and people get edgy, which we totally understand, but you won a lot of friends here and you won a meaningful belt in good style. For me and for most of the people here, if not for you. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching at home as well, and for all my sponsors. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Katie.